Hello everyone and welcome to Japa Tales. Today I'm going to share my experience about the PCR test I had to take before we traveled to Japan. When we decided to move to Japan, it was in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic. Rules and travel restrictions were changing constantly and we had no idea what to expect. We decided on a date in the middle of September and planned our move while keeping an eye on Japan's Ministry of Foreign Affairs website for updates. Sometime in the middle of August, Japan brought in the rule where foreign residents of Japan entering the country from September 1st have to take a PCR test within 72 hours of departure time. Also, they had a specific form which you need to request the clinic to fill out with your test results. We started our research to find clinics in Vancouver, Canada. We checked the BC Centre for Disease Control's website and found a list of private facilities that do COVID-19 testing for travel purposes. I was a bit surprised to see only 5 clinics listed there, and from those, only 2 were in Vancouver area, 1 was in North Van, and 2 others were pretty far. Either way, I started calling them all. I asked them if they did the 2 swab methods which were listed on Japan's testing requirement form. One was the nasopharyngeal swab, and the other was a saliva sample. Almost all said that they do not do the saliva sample test. Some said no to the nasopharyngeal swab as well. I was told they do what they call is a binasal swab, where they take a sample from each nostril and it's not that deep. That wasn't listed on the Japan's form, so I didn't want to take a risk. I was getting a bit nervous because from an already small list of clinics, my options were getting limited. Thankfully, 2 clinics said that they could do the nasopharyngeal swab and that both would fill out the form as well. Now, a little bit about the form. It has a few details about yourself that Japan requires, like your date of birth, citizenship, passport number, etc. Now, if the clinic cannot fill the form, then the test certificate that they provide should include all those details. Some clinics were not willing to change the format of their test certificate to include all those details. Hence, I decided it's better to just pick a clinic that can fill out the form that Japan requires. The test result time was the next hurdle. Japan requires you to get tested within 72 hours of departure time. Now, all the clinics we called said the results would take 48 to 72 hours, but most of the time they received them within 48 hours, but with no guarantees. So it was like taking a risk. I usually don't like this kind of uncertainty, but there was no other choice. I booked the flight for Friday, and my test was on Wednesday before that. Few days before the test, I decided to check online about the specific swab test and what to expect, and I came across a video that showed the way it was conducted, and my stress level went up to a whole other level. I was not looking forward to doing it at all. On the day of the test, I went to the clinic and waited for my turn. I go in and tell the doctor I need the specific swab. I sat in the chair and saw the doctor prepare the swab. The swab was like a single-ended Q-tip, thinner and flexible, but around twice as long or maybe even a bit longer. I tilted my head back and got ready. The swab was inserted through my nose. At first I thought, oh, this isn't bad, but I was wrong. It just kept going deeper and deeper until it touched the back of my throat. Discomfort or pain, I'm not sure how to accurately describe it, but it was really intense. They have to do the swab for 10 seconds, but honestly, it felt like an eternity. I left the clinic with a mild headache and this weird feeling that there's still something stuck in my nose, but I was happy that it was done. All I had to do now was wait for the test result, which they sent by email. On Friday, we woke up early and started our last minute packing. I kept checking my email every 10 minutes for the result, but with no luck. Soon we had to leave if we wanted to make it on time for the flight. I called the clinic and they said they hadn't received the result from the lab yet, but they were hoping to receive them soon. We had no choice, so we decided to go to the airport and wait for the results. Unfortunately, the airline could not wait for us anymore. I checked one last time, but I still didn't receive it, so they closed the check-in counter. We were disappointed, but more than that, the thought that I had to take the test again was more upsetting. We immediately called the airline customer care and canceled the flight. Once we got home, we rebooked our flight for Monday, called the hotel and rebooked it, and called the taxi service that was going to pick us up at Tokyo Airport and changed that as well. Thankfully, we had booked everything that allowed cancellations or changes. I did the test again, hoping this time I will receive it on time. On Monday morning, we started packing and getting ready to leave for the airport, and that's when my phone rings, and I saw the email with my results. I was so relieved. We packed up, called the taxi, and headed to the airport. It is very important to make sure that your test result was conducted within 72 hours of departure time, because at the check-in counter at the airport, they very carefully check to make sure that it was. Also, at immigration in Japan, the officer checked my test result documents 3 times to make sure that everything complied with their requirements. Things are still new when it comes to testing for travel, and different countries have different testing requirements. But I hope things get better once travel begins to resume again. Well, that's it for now. I hope this video was helpful to you, and I hope you don't have to go through something like this. Take care, everyone, and be safe. Bye.